Hello everybody, Tom French here to talk to you about the Green Book. We've learned in the past what's in the Green Book in general terms. This week we're going to utilize that information. Alyssa has sent me an email. She's returning to work soon and she's wanting to ask about her safety and her rights of going back to work. So let's look at what the Green Book says. Your duties. The employer, Section 25, subsection 2, clause H, it states that the employer shall take every precaution reasonable in the circumstances to protect the worker. The supervisor, Section 27, subsection 2, clause C, it states virtually the same thing. The supervisor will take every precaution reasonable to protect the worker. The worker, Section 28, subsection 1, clause B, states that the worker shall wear and use all protective equipment and clothing that the employer deems necessary in the circumstances. So what does this mean? Well, this means that the employer is going to do an assessment of the workplace to see what potential hazards there are and protect the worker from them. And then create a plan to protect everybody. So that would be a risk assessment. And this is a very helpful tool. A risk assessment is necessary. So if we have one or two workers and only a couple clients a day coming in, most of the stuff's done online, it's going to be a relatively simple risk assessment. If we have multiple employees, different customers coming in at all times, and a very high volume, it's going to be a bit more difficult. So the hierarchy of control. First of all, if we want to eliminate the hazard. If we can't do that, then we're going to engineer something. We're going to build something to protect the worker. Now, if that won't work in this situation, we're going to go to administration. That'd be training and posters and that kind of thing. And then if we can't do that, or along with that, we're going to use PPE, personal protective equipment. This is the last resort. This is one we want to stay away from if we can, but it is a final resort. So, can we eliminate the hazard? In this case, it's a virus. So we can't eliminate it yet. Engineering. Can we engineer something? Well, it's possible. Maybe we can make up a divider of some kind. I know in the hospitals they have negative pressure rooms, which is restrictive and very difficult because of the money aspect of it. So then there's administration. We're going to train the workers, talk to the workers. We're going to maybe restructure our work areas so there's more spacing. Or maybe we're going to post signs about washing our hands better and how long to wash them for, like 20 seconds or better. Or maybe we're going to distance people, signs on distancing people more. So we got to train the workers on this. And finally, there's PPE, our last resort. One we want to stay away from, but sometimes it is our only way of protecting the workers. So gloves maybe, or a face mask, or face shields, or maybe aprons. For the company, a risk assessment is necessary. Now initially, we have a health and safety policy and a violence and harassment policy. These are mandatory by law to have these two policies. But other than the risk assessment, we may have to develop a policy on return to work. Who's going to come in, what times as far as returning, depending on experience or seniority. Distancing policy to educate the workers. Hand washing policy. A daily screening policy or a work area policy. Other these policies are going to develop our program. So, cleaning program. Are we going to clean more often, possibly? How are we going to distance people? Can some people work from home? That's a possibility. Or are we just going to spread them out a bit farther around? The expectation of the worker. We have to make sure the worker understands what the expectations are. A screening program. Are we going to screen them daily as they come into work? Or are we going to have a self-assessment screening that they self-assess themselves daily at home before they come to work? Do we restrict the movement? The number of people. So do we restrict the number of people in the area? Do we restrict the movement from area to area, such as departments? Maybe we don't allow as much movement around the facility. The workers, if the employer has done all that's reasonably possible, then, and you have some issues still, you must discuss it with your employer to get this worked out. If you have other issues, you may have to talk to them further. Typically, if the employer's followed all the guidelines of the health authorities and they've done everything they can, then we are expected to return to work. under those circumstances. But of course, discuss with your employer if you have some underlying issues or concerns. If you like this video, hit like, subscribe. You can always email me at safetyboy31@gmail.com. And of course, be safe out there. I am going to put a couple of links in the information below, so click on those and they might be helpful for some signage and information.